Abigail Adams. Early years. Abigail was born on November 11th in 1744 in Massachusetts. At the time, Massachusetts was the first of the 13 colonies of the United States, which were ruled by Great Britain. Abigail did not go to school. Most girls are not allowed at this time. Instead, Abigail's mother, Elizabeth, taught her to read and write at home. Abigail was a smart girl who loved to read. She learned about the world of reading her father's many books. Abigail married John Adams on October 25th in 1764. They lived on a small farm which burned in John's family for many years. John worked as a lawyer. Abigail managed the farm and the money. In 1768, they moved to Boston so John's law business could do better. John was often away from his home because of his work. The Adams family. Abigail and John's children helped the chores with the farm. His oldest son, John Quincy Adams, became the 6th President of the United States. War with Great Britain. Soon after Abigail and John were married, Great Britain began to treat the colonies unfairly. People had to pay many high taxes. Many people in the colonies, including Abigail and John, want to break away from Great Britain. They want their colonies to be their own country. In 1774, John was elected to the representatives of the Massachusetts of the First Continental Congress. The Congress talked about the colonies who would be an independent country. Abigail stayed home while John was away. She ran the farm and taught the children. A woman running a farm business is not common in those days. She hired people who bought land on John's names. Women cannot buy land on their own. While John was away, he and Abigail wrote many letters to each other. He often asked for advice on politics as well as other subjects. John accepted their ideas. John was elected to be the representative of Massachusetts in the Second Continental Congress. In her letters, Abigail told John that Congress had to be the people that felt. The leader listened to what they say. Long-distance letters. Abigail and John wrote more than 1,000 letters to each other in their marriage. In one letter, Abigail asked John to remember the ladies from working American independence. Her letter was one of the first writing of the subject equal rights of women in the United States. In 1775, Congress declared the colonies independent in Great Britain. A war began. During it, Abigail made meals and soldiers that cared for one who had hurt. The war did not end in 1781. After the war, the colonies won the war and finally become an independent country. George Washington is the elected to be the first president of the United States in 1789. And John became the first vice president. John and Abigail moved to Philadelphia, which is the capital at the time. Abigail did not like the capital and soon moved back to the farm. Abigail and John continued to send letters. John became president in 1797. As the First Lady, Abigail gave her husband advice on many things. She spoke out against slavery. She also argued for rights of women. Some people in the government did not like when Abigail spoke out. They sometimes called her Mr. President. Abigail never stopped about she believed it was right. Did you know John and Abigail was be the first president and the first president and the first lady to live in the White House. It was called the President's House at the time. Later years. Abigail was happy and John at 4 years as the president was over. She wanted to go back to the farm and live a quiet life. Abigail was sick during the many later years. She died at home on October 28, 1818. Her ideas live on. In the time, they made the United States a better place to live with many people. Abigail Adams showed the world that the First Lady can speak up and told her important causes. Her amazing life was remembered today.
Good job.